Welcome back, everyone. Friar Tuck here. This is my epoch. Okay, so one of the video suggestions for me was to talk about top strategies on how to stay safe when you're homeless. And I thought that was a good topic because a lot of people, especially people that are new to being homeless, their biggest fear is safety because they're so used to having the four walls, locked doors, locked windows, be able to control who comes in, who comes out. When you're homeless, you don't really get a chance to do that. So one of the most important things that you can do, one of the top strategies that I recommend, and a strategy is not just one thing. It's a lifestyle. It's a series of habits and things like that. So if you don't want to be harassed by the police, because that's going to be one of your main concerns out here, if you don't want to be harassed by the police, then one of the things that you're going to have to do is when you pick up your camp, leave no trace. Okay, you hear me talk about that a lot. Leave no trace, because the thing is, they can use that as a health hazard. Okay. The other thing is you're going to want to keep on the move, and be cautious of where you go. So if it says no trespassing, no loitering, things like that. Now there are ways around loitering, like go in, buy a cup of coffee. Now you're not loitering, you get to sit there for a couple of hours and enjoy your cup of coffee or whatever it is. Okay, so as far as not getting messed with by the police, this is something that you're going to want to make as part of your natural habits. Now some of this may seem common sense or pretty straightforward, but for the average person, they don't really get it. And also you got to realize that if you do have an interaction with the police officer, it's not the end of the world. He's not going to take you to jail if you challenge him correctly. Okay, so don't be afraid of the police. Now once you've ran across one bad police officer, you'll never trust another police officer. But until then, treat your police with as much respect as you possibly can. But also, make a valid statements, valid arguments when dealing with the police officers in that way, because if you come at them as if you are coherent, you're not under the influence, you got your wits about you, they're going to treat you a lot different than if you're incoherent, you don't have your wits about you, and they can see that you're afraid of them. So don't be afraid of them as much as you think you probably should, being out here. Okay, so as far as not getting robbed, as far as not getting into any physical altercations or violence, such as gun or knife, I mean, this is pretty simple. If you're in the scene, then you're going to pay the consequences of the scene. So like the white dope stuff, you want to start selling it, you want to start peddling it, you want to start doing some crazy things. Well, what that's going to do is that's going to line you up and put you in that position. Now, I mean, a stray, anything stray that happens, I mean, you can't really prepare for that other than keeping on the move. You definitely want to keep on the move. You definitely don't want to get comfortable in an area, because when you do, that's generally when you get robbed. Also, you should be able to pack up and lay down and have a minimal footprint when you do it, wherever you go. That way you can get into confined spaces and you can be in wide open spaces as well. So there's different ways on which you could do something like that. Okay, so those are some basic strategies and just like how to stay safe. Now, things that I always tell people is, if you're going to get in other people's business, then you're going to cause issues. And when you cause issues like that, you may cross the wrong person. Okay. Also, don't get involved in other people's stuff, because other people, let's say you see somebody getting their butt whooped. Well, you know what? There may be a reason for it, and you may be going in there to interrupt something that may end up jeopardizing not only your health and safety, but possibly your life, because you decided to cross into something that you really shouldn't have been dealing with in the first place. So, a lot of this is if you really want to stay safe and stay out here. Another thing that I would recommend, at least moving forward, it didn't used to have, well, it used to have to be like this, but for different reasons, okay? It was usually discrimination, but now, we might get rounded up one day and put in homeless camps if the homeless population keeps expanding at the rate at which it is, okay? So, being able to blend in as much as possible, kind of like what the old hobos did. Look up how some of the old hobos lived. They had a clean pair of clothes, and then they had a pair of clothes that they wore on the train so that they could always go in there and look presentable in cities because they were looking for work. You may not be looking for work. You may be just trying to keep your freedom. And by keeping your freedom, that is just as valuable as work. So, there are some things that you can definitely do, such as learning how to wash your clothes and dry your clothes, learning how to live off of the land from time to time, because you may have to jump in there not only for your own seclusion and your own sanity, but you may need to go do laundry and other things which resources may not be available. Or if you're having to blend in, you don't really want to be part of the whole homeless scene, you can do things like that as well. But usually the safe thing is you if there's homeless around, it's safer for you in a lot of ways. But if you're not trying to look like one, then you're going to look like an outsider unless they know you, for other reasons. So, you got to weigh the different ways in which you go with stuff like this. But as far as, keeping yourself safe out here, it's just a matter of not only minding your own business, keeping going, and, just being respectful to others. Now, you're going to run into a lot of these crazies and these nut jobs and these people that want to instigate something. There are a lot of them out there, especially if you hang around the homeless community long enough. There will be false accusations made because one party's trying to rile up another party against you for whatever reasons, whether it's they want your stuff or they're on a power trip or whatever it may be. These people do some crazy things for some crazy reasons, okay? So I wouldn't put any reason past them because, some of this stuff is vindictive. We just had a guy here, and I even tried to defend him because, so there was, a few days ago, there was this girl over, and she's like, oh, no, stop, da, da, da. And I'm like, I come over a little bit later, and I'm like, what's going on? And he's like, oh, no, nothing was going on. And she's like, I was just showing him what I could do. Next thing you know, some woman is saying that he essayed her. And, now he's on the run. That's why I'll show you his camp. I mean, this is a matter of like 2-3 days on how they destroyed. Now, this guy had been here for quite some time. But look at all that, okay? And I'll show you what Puckets looks like as well. So you always want to have only what you can carry. Have your GTFO bag if you are gonna home bum it, because that's something that you're gonna want to be thoughtful of. So now Puckets' place looked just like that, but it's been a couple of weeks, and so they've come through and they've cleaned it out and picked through all the little things that they want. But as you see, it's very, they've taken about 80% of the stuff in which you had. Okay, so this is why you don't want to have lots of gear, lots of stuff, because not only as if you're trying to blend in and not look homeless, will that be an issue for you, but also if you are homeless, that's usually, people start nesting, they start hoarding and things like that, and they want to be able to have a home. And so they start making a home by collecting things, because it's their one way of clinging to hope that they will actually have a place again, is to be ready to have a place again. And so, that's kind of what happens to a lot of these guys that really build up these big camps and stuff like that. But then when they leave big old messes like that. Okay. So, I had to, after they raided my campsite, I had to clean it up. It was trash everywhere. It looked almost as bad as Puckets' place back there. Okay. So again, you don't want to carry a lot of stuff. You only want to carry what you need, what's important to you, and what you need to survive. Okay, so there's no need in carrying so much crap, because if you're going to constantly be on the move, you have to pick up your camp every night, or excuse me, every morning, and put it down every night. And then you also got to figure out how to be able to do it in a reasonable amount of time. So when I set up everything with the tarp included, it takes me about 30 to 45 minutes to set it up, because I'm a perfectionist. And then tearing it down, and putting it all up, it takes me about not even 20 minutes. But that's just because I take my time. I have a cigarette. I kind of mosey around. I feed the dog. I do other things while I'm putting my stuff away. But technically, I could probably put it away in maybe 10 or 15 minutes. It really doesn't take that much. The tarp is probably the thing that takes the longest to fold up and put in my bag. But, it is what it is. So, this is your tips for staying safe when you are, if you become homeless, or when you're homeless, or while you're homeless, okay? And if you like this stuff, be sure to subscribe. I'm a nomad. I've done... watch my videos. You'll know where I've been, what I've been doing, and that's just in the last 15 months. Just imagine where I've been over the last 25 years. So thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.